there's this book called The Bell Curve, and it's really fucking like it's so sociopathic. It's basically like these white I don't know what the fuck they think they are, psychiatrists, psychologists, whatever. They've written this almost like 500-page long book about the intellectual capacities of the different, race isn't actually a real thing, but the intellectual capacities between the different, I guess, species would be like a better word. I don't fucking know. I don't know. The different types of human beings on the planet putting themselves up top. But I don't see how a class of white men who are like inherently just not equipped for the planet, like you go out in the sun and burn, like, huh? What? Okay, so now let's look at this, right? In the last 110, 120 years since the Industrial Revolution, it's actually the white man who has, in such a short span of time, managed to completely destroy the planet. Now, let's go back to that conversation about IQ. So I have these theories. I have my own theory of evolution, So, let's think about Pangea. We think about the primordial waters and stuff like that. In lots of spiritual scriptures and texts, it's always the serpent that is the evil thing. Now, you have 3 cortexes of your brain. You have a neocortex, you have a limbic cortex, and you have a reptilian cortex. And a reptilian cortex controls all type of involuntary shit, like your heartbeat, your your ability to fucking salivate, your body temperature, blinking, your endocrine system, all that type of shit like that. But also there lives your flight or fight complex. And why do you think that it is always the serpent that is presented to you as evil? Because actually that is the core of your being, and a lot of modern day religion, fucking Abrahamic religion is really a joke in general. Because if anyone thinks that the dawn of humanity happened 200 or 2000, maybe 2024 years ago, and that there were no human beings and no gods and no nothing before that, then you're all kind of just missing that. You're missing the fucking point. You're missing the fucking point altogether. Now, whatever cataclysmic event was happening on the planet, to make the snakes rush out of the ocean and onto landforms, into marshes, and into all kind of shit. And it's definitely very, very, this is it's a very old event. The tectonic plates were still breaking apart and forming continents when this happened. So when all the snakes rush out of the ocean, and my theory is that there was a black snake, there was a yellow snake, there was a red snake, and there was a white snake. And in Azealia Banks's theory of evolution, the red snakes ended up somewhere in some sort of volcanic lava shit, you know what I mean? The yellow snakes went into wet marshes. The black snakes buried underground, and the white snakes got caught in an ice cap. They got caught in a fucking ice cap. And, tectonic plates keep moving, mountain ranges keep growing, and next thing you know, they're just like kind of frozen. They're just like frozen in snake form up on a mountain while the rest of like humanity and civilization is. So while the white snakes were hiding in that hole in the side of the mountain, tectonic plates keep moving, mountain ranges keep growing, and the further up and up and up and up and up and up and up they go. And we all know it gets very cold at high altitudes. Okay, now when you get into almost like every cultural group's kind of depiction or story of when the white man appeared, there's always this mention of them coming down off of a mountain, right? So while the rest of humanity had evolved and done all sorts of things, we also had like lots of access to vitamin D. Lots of access to vitamin D. We had civilizations, we had families, we had family values, we had everything, like every other fucking, like every group in the world. But when you don't have access to vitamin D because you are evolving in a cave system, you are inherently just primed for fear. Because you don't know what's coming around the fucking corner in a dark cave system. You know what I'm saying? So you're always ready to kill something. So let's revisit this, let's take an in-depth look at the white snake. Now, okay, when your reptilian cortex is firing the fuck off all the fucking time, right? And you have no access to vitamin D or adequate amounts of vitamin D that would help you learn how to be a fucking decent human being. Your fight or flight response kicks in, and then that kicks in your neocortex, and your neocortex is where you solve problems. Now, there is another book by an author called Jared Diamond called Guns, Germs, and Steel. And in Guns, Germs, and Steel, first I'd like to make note that the author purposely left out any mention of African ingenuity. It's like, so the Steel Age was in direct response to the Iron Age in Africa. Once Europeans got their hands on steel and invented the gun, once again, because, they've been up on a mountain fucking, like, sucking on goat titties and fucking, like, eating curdled mucus and shit, like, for fucking, I don't know, thousands of years maybe. They come down and try to get into Africa. Africans are looking at them like, what the fuck is going on? These people are cursed. We gotta fucking eliminate them. So they run back, they discover steel, they invent the gun, and here we are. And I mean, like, honestly, like, the fucking delusion, like, really, the delusion of someone like Elon Musk to think that you're gonna fucking escape Earth and go to fucking Mars. You're not going to Mars. You're not going to Mars. You and all of those little white children are going to have to deal with the consequences of the messes that you have made. There is no escape. There is no escape. So, I guess their plan is to, like, you know, manipulate and destabilize everyone so that, you know, they can like leave the last mark in history or whatever. But god damn it, how many times have you guys been trying to like kill us all? But just to tie this all back into the Lizzo situation, and just, you know, a lot of my remarks about hip hop being infiltrated by, you know, white capital and then twisted and turned around and used as a fucking weapon against us. You know what I'm saying? These things are all part of the plan. They're all part of the plan because they bamboozle us and they kind of, like, you know, distract us in a way. And now with this AI shit, you know, every time we respond to something on the internet, whether it's a video of like some unsuspecting, unarmed black person being brutally fucking murdered in the street, like, you know, every time we respond to that kind of content, we're teaching a supercomputer how best to manipulate us.